So as you guys see, we have a single elimination bracket. The seedings of the regular season were all used to lead up to the playoffs. And as you guys see, this is how the final standings went. You got Swanee in first, Dooney in second, Ray in third, me in fourth, Chev in fifth, DC in sixth, Day in seventh, then Truman and Ants in eighth and ninth. And you see, this is what the bracket is going to look like. So we have 8 games total throughout the 2 days of the bracket. That's going to be February 22nd and 23rd. The timing and all that, we're going to give more detail as we get closer. But you see, we're going to have 2 days of games. 4 in the first day, 4 in the second. So we're going to go through the first round and into the second round. And as you guys see, we have this bracket. What you can actually do is go into the chat. I'll show you what happens when you click that link. Type in !bracket into the chat, and it'll take you to a Google Slides link. And you'll see this page of what the bracket is. And we have all the names on the top right corner you could drag. You go to that link, hit File, and hit Make a Copy if you're signed in. You have to make sure you're signed in. And you just copy the presentation. And you'll give it a second to load and all that. And then now you could actually edit the bracket and move these top right images to where you want. So say like you think Truman's going to win game 1, put him here. Then you think Swanee wins. You could go through and drag the names onto the spots. And I challenge all of you in the chat who have been keeping up with DCCL, go to that link, make a bracket. And then when you have a bracket made, go to twitter.com and tweet out at Dugout Creative, at The Scan, and with the hashtag DCCL, your bracket. And at the end, we'll go through and we'll see what you guys think. And we can even reflect on them at the DCCL when we are done with the bracket and seeing who actually got the bracket right. And make it a fun little game with you guys, because I know a lot of you guys are passionate with the DCCL and everything that's happened. So if you want to do it, type in !bracket in the chat, and you should be able to make your own brackets right into the chat, and then take a screenshot of it and then tweet those out, shoot them over to us. I'd love to see what you guys think. And by the way, if you don't have me winning, you're wrong. Thank you. But here is the schedule we are looking at. So like I mentioned before, it's a single elimination bracket. So Swanee was the number 1 seed. So he has some time to wait before he plays. Day 1, we have Truman versus Ants, game 1 off the rip. Me versus Chev, game 2. Thuney and Day against each other, game 3. And then Ray Sleazy and DC to wrap it up for day number 1. Now we go into day 2. And here's the thing we have to keep track of. Who loses these games? But the day 2, the winner of the games, obviously we have game 6, 7, and 8. The winner of those games that we previously mentioned, they're going to be matching up against each other in day number 2. So basically, this is what's going to happen here for game 6, 7, and 8. Swanee waits until day 2 to play that winner of Ants versus Truman. And this is going to be the general structure. But you see in the bottom? See what it says down there? A loser derby. So whoever gets eliminated in round 1 is going to be taking part in the loser derby. And to explain what that is, what we're going to do is broadcast a mini home run derby with all 4 of the players that got eliminated in the first round. So what'll happen is 2 people will face off against each other at a time, and the lowest home run count is going to end up getting last place. And you guys know we've been saying this entire time, don't get last place in this DCCL, because you're going to hate the punishment if you're the one who has to deal with it. So all of those 4 who lose in the first round are going to be eligible for this derby and have a chance to get last place. And the big thing with the regular season, since Swanee got first place, he doesn't get eliminated in the first round since he doesn't play. So only the bottom 4 people are going to play for last place. And while this may not seem like the most ever, when you guys hear about what the punishment is for last place, it's a lot like a punishment for like a fantasy baseball or football league when someone gets last. That's what it's going to be like for this. There's going to be a fun punishment you guys are going to love to watch at the expense of someone. And this loser derby is going to be the part that caps that all off. But in terms of the team build, which we're going to be doing today. We're going to be working on the team build today together in the chat. So as you see, the hitters, they're going to be chosen by a draft. So the two opponents are going to draft the team of the same card series. So one team can't have one card, but also on the other team. You have the whole pool of players of that card series, and each team is going to choose enough to fill up their own team. So for the first round, it's going to be Signature Series. So all 6 series players will be drafted by the two teams. They'll face off, throw them on their teams, and those will be all of the hitters on their teams. And then for the semifinals, it's going to be Milestone, and then for the finals, it's going to be Finest. So we're progressing our way up with the better series of cards as the game in the tournament goes progressively forward. So this is what you'll see for the hitters. You'll see the draft. This is how it's going to work. It's going to draft from a pool. It's progressively get more and more as we go into the tournament. In terms of the bullpen, we end up hand selecting the bullpen with a good mix of relievers from some of the really good ones to some of them that are more mid-tier and some of the earlier game cards. Get a good variety of bullpens, so people have to really think about how they manage them. And it's not just a bullpen of God Squad guys. Because you see with those team builds, you have a different variation of players and what's being used normally on their God Squads. You want people to think about the teams and the players they're using. So that is why the bullpen is structured this way. But now, we have to get into the part that involves you guys, the chat. The part that involves the chat vote. So as you see here, we have a list of names we're going to be voting on. So in just a few minutes here, what we're going to do is we're going to allow you guys to vote for each of the starting pitchers that are used in the rotation. So you'll be able to choose from these players, one of them in a chat poll that we do, who we use in the entirety of the playoff bracket. So you guys can choose a type of experience you want. You could choose violence and choose the OP players like the Edward Cabreras, the Al Leiters, the Greg Maddixes. He's not that overpowered, but the Jacob deGrom. You could choose violence if that's something that you guys want to see. Or if you want to see just the offense to be heavy, you could choose a lesser effective pitcher and have that type of experience catered to what you guys want to see. So in just a few minutes here, we're going to go through these polls and vote for each of the starting pitchers that you guys will want us to use. So you see we have the range of the 5 starters. They're all in the same tier of each other. And you guys will basically choose exactly what we use. So now that we hop back here with My Name's Scan, we're going to go through and get this all set up right now. So what we're going to do, I'm going to get this poll started now, okay? You guys will see on the top part of the Twitch chat, there will be an option for you to vote for this poll. It's going to say, who is going to be the starting pitcher 1? And you guys are going to vote in the chat for the one pitcher you want to see. We have 99 Ohtani, the pitcher card, of course. 99 DeGrom. Then we'll have 99 Felix Hernandez. And then the last one was 99 Verlander. So you guys are going to have a few minutes to vote for this. You're choosing the pitcher that we use on our teams. And we're going to go through and let you guys vote for this right now. So let's start. You have 5 minutes in the chat to vote. Let's see how this goes. So now the vote is open. Make sure you guys vote. We'll go back to the scene here, and we'll let you guys vote away. We should get some voting music on, shall we? I think some like elevator music while we're sitting here. Yeah, all right. So chat, vote away. Who do you guys want to see? The 4 pitchers in the starting pitcher 1 slot are who we are voting for right now. Who do you want to see? Vote away. I'm interested in see how this poll is going, by the way. A lot of Ohtani right now. I like it. I like it. And I'm also going to be keeping an eye out on Twitter for those brackets you guys are making. I know some people are probably going out there making some brackets. Make sure you mention at the scan and at Dugout Creative as well, so I can see your brackets and we can go through them today. But Chad, I'm interested in what you think. What do you want to see from these starters? Do you want to see the hitters? Do you want to see the hitters go out there and do well? Or do you want to see the starters actually be a factor and be able to pitch some shutdown games? I mean, just as someone who's playing in it, I like being able to pitch, but I feel like it may be a little overkill to get like the Verlanders and the DeGroms involved here. It might be tough for some of the guys to hit, and you know, you may want to do a more offense-heavy experience by voting for Ohtani here in the first one. How long are these innings? Good question. So the games are going to be 6-inning games. So the starters are still a massive factor in the games. It just, you're really determining how much violence is being chosen. Do you want the most frustrating pitchers to face? Or do you want to see some high-scoring run totals? But I'm really interested to see what you all do. Also, I see Koopty with the poll on Twitter. With the bracket on Twitter. I love it. I love it. Thank you very much. We will go through that later, definitely. Voted Ohtani because Swan's a wow. I see you guys voting for Swanee's sake. Okay. I see you. Ohtani's really dominating the poll right now. He's got 25 votes. I will say I'm a little proud that we only have one person voting for 99 DeGrom. You gotta get some claps for the chat. Only one person voting for Jacob DeGrom, the guy that's been used all year. You guys are making a great choice with that. Great choice. What difficulty? Just like the entire DCCL, it's gonna be on all-star difficulty. So all of the commands and the point systems are gonna work the same as per normal, but there's going to be a bigger emphasis for winning. It's not just a single elim bracket where the winner moves on and the loser doesn't. You have to win in points like we've done the entire time. DeGrom doesn't belong. I don't blame you for that. He probably does not belong in DCCL. It would be utter violence. So, chat, who did you vote for in the poll? Swanee, let me ask you, who did you vote for? Did you vote for someone in the poll? That's what I'm curious about. You're probably telling your chat to vote for Ohtani at this point. So you voted for Ohtani? Okay. So maybe we found out what's skewing the poll. But, I mean, listen, Ohtani makes sense. He's the cover boy of MLB 22. I'm kind of for Ohtani being the guy, to be honest with you. Yes, Big Red Baller. Technically, yes. But normally, the points for a win is 25. But it's going to be multiple hundred. We're still calculating the entire math behind it. But picture like 100 to 250 points for a win. So in a large scenario, like majority of the scenarios, you're going to be seeing people who win the game win in points. The only scenarios you may not is, say, if DC hits a high-scoring game and he plays against someone with no multiplier, then if he gets enough runs, he probably wins. So that's kind of how it works. It's a lot of moving pieces, but if you've been keeping track and you understand the point system now, the only thing that changes is the win points. Also, Ohtani is the winner. End the music. Cut the music. Seemed like the winner of our first poll was 99 Ohtani, and he will be our first starter used here in the DCCL. And you'll see a lot of him in the postseason, that's for sure, because he's going to be like the guy to start most of these games. So Ohtani being the guy, I'm kind of on board with. So big old claps to you, chat. Big claps. But now we got to talk about that second starting pitcher slot. We got to talk about that second spot, which is some interesting choices. You get Tom Seaver, who is a pretty middle-of-the-road 99 overall. Nothing too incredible. You get Bob Feller, who has the outlier, which is a factor that could definitely stop some people. Cough, cough, DC. Pedro Martinez, who is a kind of underwhelming card, but in terms of these guys, fits the mold of like a solid middle tier 99. And then Greg Maddux, who has all the control, but no real velocity on him. So vote in this poll. Who do you want to see as the second starting pitcher? I'm going to put all of them in the chat right now. And I'm interested to see what you guys do. I mean, the first poll with Ohtani wasn't even close. So I think this second one could really... we could be pulled for some loops here. I wonder who is going to be the equivalent of Ohtani for this one. Here we go. The poll is started. Let's get the music rolling. Vote away. Who do you guys want to see be the second starting pitcher used? I'm interested to see what you guys have to say. Remember, the choices are 99 Tom Seaver, Bob Feller, Pedro Martinez, and Greg Maddux, just in that second row of the graphic here. Ooh, Greg Maddux is off to a hot start. I love it. I love that. You're choosing... Okay, Ethan. Ethan is choosing violence, just choosing the worst cards, which I don't hate. I mean, listen, if you want to see offense, you could vote for the lower cards. I am 100% vibe with that. Are the multipliers same? Yes, the multipliers are the exact same. The only thing that's changing is the amount of points that you get for the win in a game. We have to update it, but as of now, for the regular season, it was 25 points, as you see in the chat. But it's actually going to be even more. It's going to be multiple hundred, very likely, come the postseason, so we can really reward the people who win. So we'll go back to the bracket here. It's not just the person who wins, there are points involved. So what'll happen is, say in that game 2 where we have Thune versus Day, or Ray versus DC, where the multipliers are a big difference, you'll see that if it's a high scoring game and the higher multiplier person scores enough runs, that'll be the only scenario you see them win, very likely. If the difference is a few hundred points and they don't score many runs, which with these pitching staffs could be the case, I think the better performing player will end up winning basically every time. There may be one freak thing, but that's a part of the DCCL. We have different skills of players. We have comp guys. We have guys like DC. We have a range of players of all skill sets. So anyone can win this thing with how the multipliers work. So we have to accommodate that for the playoffs, that's for sure. How does Ochev get a first round bye? He actually does not have a first round bye. Swanee has a first round bye. When you look at that graph, he's not going to be playing day 1. The only games being played off the rip are those 4 games, game 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chev doesn't get a first round bye. Just technically with how it looks like, Ants and Truman have to play into the bracket since they're the 8 and 9 seed. The only one who gets a bye is Swan. Nobody else gets a bye. We'll go back just to touch on it. If you look at the bracket, Swanee up here gets the bye because he doesn't have to play this game 1 game. And the big implications are the loser derby. The first 4 people who get eliminated play in the loser derby for last place. So in terms of Swanee, he gets that bye, so he isn't one of the first 4 eliminated. And he doesn't have to play in the last place tournament no matter what. So that's the big implications of that. Oh, I just read on that, so I'm... Okay. First of all, disrespectful. First of all, and second of all, you're probably right. I might just get smacked by Ochev, and that is okay. That is okay. The goal is to not get last at this point. But checking on our poll here, we got Maddux up. Greg Maddux is up 19 votes. No love to Bob Feller or Tom Seaver. Okay, okay. But Pedro, some people want to see Pedro. Some people want to see Greg Maddux. I like it. Those are fun pitchers. I mean, Pedro's a fun name. Too bad his card wasn't as good as it could have been. And Maddox, honestly, is another one that could have been better, but the meta pitches with that sinker cutter, it's going to be a big part of these games if that's the choice that we end up getting. Let's practice home run. Oh, don't worry. I've played my fair share of home run derbies. Not the flex tee, guys. But I'm pretty good at my home run derbies. If anyone has been in my stream and has seen me do them, I'm pretty dang good at my home run derbies. So if I get in that scenario, if I get last, I will be absolutely disappointed in myself. Absolutely disappointed. All right, so just the polls are about to end here. Looks like Greg Maddux is going to be our number 2 starting pitcher. Looks like he's going to win the poll for starting pitcher 2. So we're going to also put Maddux down. Okay, see, I see the scan streams jokes, and it's warranted. But also mean, okay? Guys are mean. You know what? Let's just move on to the third poll, you meanies. So you see in the third row, we're going to choose our third starting pitcher. We have the choices of Fergie Jenkins, Al Leiter, who's actually a very good lefty. Maybe not an all-star, but we could switch it up with Fernando Valenzuela, who was the meta at the start of the year with his lower overall card. Could be cool to see him make a return. Or the future stars Dustin May, who is also a very solid pitcher who is not a 99 overall. Vote away, you mean people in chat. Who do you want to see as the third starter? I'm seeing Fernando's off to a hot start. Also, by the way, in case you were just joining us and wondering what's going on today, the chat is voting for who gets selected in the pitchers for the DCCL playoffs. We're letting chat vote from this selection of pitchers who gets selected to be used in the DCCL playoffs. And if you guys want to take part and make your own bracket and take part and make a bracket guessing who you think is going to win, go to that link in the chat, !bracket, and you will see this bracket here. You can choose who wins, who loses, and who you think will win the whole thing in the end. And we'll go back to what it looks like. If you want to make your own, all you got to do is take a name in the corner. After you make a copy of it in this corner here, and you could just click and drag them onto their spots. So just saying, taking a guess for the games here. If you guys want to hear my bracket, it's actually a good time to do that. Truman versus Ants. Who's going to win that game? I mean, unless we see a shift in things. Yeah, it's got to be TJ. And all we have to do is just click and drag. You know, Swanee would win, no doubt. Here, honestly, Thuney Mouse. Cancel Thuney Mouse. Ray Sleazy. And honestly, not to gas myself up. Bang. So you see, all you have to do is just make a copy of that link in the chat and then drag these images onto the bracket. And all you guys have to do when you get it done, just take a screenshot of it and make sure you go to the Twitters @thescan, @Dugout Creative. Make sure you mention both of us, like my guy Coop did here, who actually thinks, first of all, he didn't even put a vote for this one. He's just like, you know what, Ray Cheat. Actually, Chev. That's what it was. So looks like he had Chev winning against me, Ray winning, Day winning, and Swanee winning after TJ wins. And he has Swanee winning it all. Honestly, a fair choice. The Demon Swan is shown out. So I could really see that happening. But as you see, you tweet out these brackets to us. We'll go through them and see exactly what we guys think. Because it's fun to get the community involved and get you guys your opinions on who you think wins it all. Yeah, they have you over Chev. That's a high ask. Anyone over Chev, to be honest with you. Also, going back to the poll, as you guys see with the polls here, we're voting for the third starting pitcher, and Fernando Valenzuela My man is running away with this poll. It seems like we have a very unified decision on who is going to be used in these pitches, like in these rounds. Like Maddox ran away with it. Ohtani ran away with it. I'm seeing a lot of like cooperative voting in the chat. I'm impressed. Yeah, like I said, chat, make sure you mention at Dugout Creative, at the scan, put the hashtag DCCL in there, and we'll make sure we go through them by the end of the stream. And then we'll obviously take a look back after the fact and see who got the bracket right at the end. Because just like, you know, how March Madness is and people like to make brackets, the DCCL is a perfect avenue to do that. So if you guys tweet them at me, make sure you let me know, and I'll make sure to go through it. Also, this poll is about to wrap up here from the looks of it. Looks like Fernando Mania is gonna to win this poll. Not even close, to be honest with you. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed that we have a cooperative voting here. You know what, Swanee? Just do it, okay? Thank you. Just do it, forehead. Yes, you could screenshot and copy it to Twitter. Yes, baller. Yep. Whatever it takes just to get the image of the bracket to us, we could look at it. We'll make it through, so. Where's Mangoes? Giving him the night off. This man worked his tail off every single week for these broadcasts, so. Right now, it is a one-scan show. No pun intended. But that is what is going on tonight. We're letting the major relax for a bit as I run the show and get these things, get the playoff brackets broke down to you guys, and also update you on the players we're voting on. Also, looks like Valenzuela won. Claps in the chat. He is our winner. And also, don't say Scan making you do Showdown. Chat is making you do it, Swanee. Not my fault, thank you. It is the chat's decision. So yeah, let's switch right back. We are cruising through the starting pitcher selection right now. In case you missed it, our first starter chosen was Shohei Ohtani in the top row. In the second row, you guys chose Greg Maddux. And now in the third row, we just chose Fernando Valenzuela. And these are going to be the starting pitchers that we use in the DCCL playoffs. The rest of the team, in case you are curious and just joining us, we have a different method of choosing the hitters and the relievers. So what the players will do in the playoffs is they'll draft these series of players in each round. So they'll have the pool of players, and they'll draft those players from the pool, and they'll basically split the players up in their each individual matchups. So the first round, it's signature series. Second round, milestone. The finals, it's going to be finest series. So we progressively work our way up. And with the bullpen, some people are probably curious about that. We hand-selected relievers with an interesting mix of choices. So we have options to use, and people have to really think about who gets put in when, not just a God Squad bullpen and doing team builds like that with the SIG series and all that. Stuff to fill out the bullpen. So these are the team builds that you're going to be seeing in the DCCL playoffs on the 22nd and 23rd. And we'll hop right back into the vote here. Let's vote for that third starting pitcher here. Who do you guys want to see be the third starter? We have the monthly award legendary Corbin Burns. We have the glitch himself, Edward Cabrera. If you guys played at the beginning of the year, you know the PTSD this card gave. An underused card in Brandon Webb, which could be a fun card to get some love. He was not used much. And then the 92 Corey Kluber. So there's a lot of sinkers, a lot of cutters and stuff, but these are lower overall cards. On all-star difficulty with these teams, they'll probably get hit hard anyway. But let's see. I'm interested to see who you all vote for here, because they all are similar type pitchers. It's just Edward Cabrera has the outlier. Corbin Burns has just a well-rounded pitch mix. Same with Corey Kluber, but with a little higher hits per 9. It's going to be an interesting choice here. I'm interested to see who you all vote for. So wait, we're voting for Edward Cabrera? But we were like, you know what? No DeGrom in the DCCL, but Edward Cabrera gets a pass? That's what we're starting off with? Wow. Wow. That is really, really interesting. Yeah, we're going to talk about round 5 in just a moment. That's for sure, Rocky. We got to get through round 4 first. But while we're going through this, we'll go over the structure of the playoffs. Make sure you vote in the chat so you could get out who you want to see. I see we got some more polls going in on Twitter as well. You all are legends. We'll take a look at that as well here soon. But let's hop through the bracket in case you're confused, wondering what's going on. The playoff bracket is going to be a single elimination tournament. You lose one game, you're out of the bracket. And you see we have 8 total games here. Points are still a factor. They are a part of all of this. It is just something that is a little warped because we're adding more of an emphasis to wins. So you'll get multiple 100 points for a win rather than just 25 what it was before. So in a large scenario, you'll see most games end up with the winner of the game actually winning. You may see a freak scenario with like Thuni Mouse or DC or someone with a higher multiplier getting a little bit of a boost if they score more runs. And that is just what the structure of this will look like. Day 1, we have 4 games, all in the first round. Anyone who loses day 1 is eligible for the loser derby in day 2. And now that we jump into day 2, you see we have Swanee's game. He gets the bye into day 2, so he's ineligible. He is clear from being put in last place, which is honestly a nice thing to have out of the way. And then we'll have those semifinals and finals. And that loser derby again, 4 players who got eliminated right away will face off head to head. Whoever gets the lowest home run count gets last. And the punishment for last place, it's not gonna be good for that person. It's gonna be fun for everyone else, not for that person. So we're gonna be having a fun time, poking fun at whoever gets last. It was something made clear off the rip. Don't get last. So you'll see it's gonna come to fruition here once we move into the playoffs on the 22nd and 23rd. And by the way, make sure those days are cleared in your calendar. February 22nd and 23rd. That is when the bracket and the finals are going down. Those 2 days. We're going to Vegas. We're on the 59th floor of the Palms place. It's a very nice penthouse we're in. We're going to be streaming live from there, all in person together. And we're going to be playing all these things together. It's going to be in an elite level broadcast. And it's going to be absolutely exciting. I believe the time, if my memory serves me correct, is 4 p.m. Mountain Time. So 3 p.m. Pacific is when the streams will start. From my knowledge, I'm very sure it's what it is. My memory could be wrong. But that is when they'll be starting on those 2 days. So clear that time slot up. Make sure you guys have that time selected and open and good to go. You know what, Thuni? You make an interesting point. If we have DC, Swanee, and Thuni all in the chat, do all 3 of you guys, are you available to hop in Discord and chat about these picks in the playoffs now that we get these players voted on? Speaking of which, looks like Edward Cabrera is winning the poll. Sorry, 4 p.m. Pacific time. I forgot that Jeremy runs on Pacific Standard Time like a somewhat normal human being. So 4 p.m. Pacific. Sorry. This is what I was saying. I wasn't 100% sure. 4 p.m. Pacific is when it starts. Sounds good, Mr. Thuni. We are actually finishing up the polls here, so I did just recognize that there was a typo in the poll. I wonder who did that. Definitely couldn't be me. Starting pitcher number 4 is being selected right now, and it looks like Edward Cabrera ran away with this poll. Poor Corey Kluber, Yankee legend, isn't getting any love, and I'm at least a little saddened. Mickey Mouse in the Discord call. This is true. But we do have to hear Thuni Mouse. We have to hear all of your thoughts on the cards that are chosen here today and the team build. I know some of you guys, it's your first time seeing the team build, and looks like Edward Cabrera wins. Can't say I'm shocked. Am I a little disappointed? Maybe. I'm going to be real. He is going to be someone that is a consideration to start for some. Like, not to point the strategy towards someone else who is playing in here. But if you look at the bracket, just saying, Ray could really get away with starting Edward Cabrera because the outlier. And poor DC would just go down like flies. So you guys chose this violence. I want you to know that. And if DC struggles because he faces Edward Cabrera or any of these pitchers, just know that's your fault, chat, okay? I don't want to hear anything from DC blaming me or anyone else. You guys chose the violence and you guys made this happen. But now, let's get our final starter chosen. Actually, wait a second. We have another bracket. We have another Twitter bracket causing a racket. Let me pull it up here for you all. We gotta look at this bracket. There is something to talk about with this bracket for my dude Unstable Phoenix. We'll do this very quickly. So here's the bracket he has. It's very tough to see because it's a phone screenshot. Probably can't zoom in, but he has Truman winning game 1, Swanee winning versus him, Thune winning, Ray winning, and he has me winning. Wow, ambitious. Me winning over Chev. Then Swanee winning over Thune, Ray winning over me. Oh, okay, I'm confused by that. And then Ray winning it all versus Swanee. I mean, that's an interesting choice. Not the route I would guess, but I like it. I like the bracket. It's ambitious. There is not a favorite, but there is something going on there where I sense why he thinks Ray's going to win. I like it. If the stars align, I could definitely see that happening, but I don't know, dude. That might be tough. That might be tough. But let's get this poll going here. We're going to get this poll going, and then we're going to finish up on those. We're going to look back at all of the brackets. Now I'm kind of teasing you all. But we're going to get this poll going right now. And we're going to go through the... DC put out a bracket? Oh. We got to see his bracket. So the starting pitcher 5. We have an interesting choice of people. We have Warren Spahn, Michael Kopech, Nate Eovaldi, and Sixto Sanchez. Again, the lower diamonds, there aren't many, but you guys can choose a snooze fest with Warren Spahn, who I actually think is actually a solid pitcher. Go for the outlier and Michael Kopech. Go for Nate Eovaldi, who doesn't have the outlier, but has a good cutter fastball mix. And then Sixto Sanchez, who has the outlier sinker. The Edward Cabrera effect, just slightly worse. But again, you guys are choosing this last starting pitcher for us to use in the DCCL playoffs. Whoever is voted on here will be in everyone's rotation. So vote away. You guys can literally choose the type of games that we get in the outcome of this tournament based on who you vote for. And while you guys do that, I am going to get some of these brackets looked at. We're going to see what DC has in store. I see we got Big Red Baller with one. Love it. Love it. We have DC. DC probably... DC. Oh, DC, buddy. Buddy. Mr. Champion. An interesting choice. Also, look at this. This is actually a closer poll. I like this. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, chat. We are making interesting choices here. I am enjoying this. I see we got Austin with one as well. DC. Chat, I want to see all of your brackets. Go on Twitter. Go into the chat, type in ! bracket, tweet at Dugout Creative at the scan, and let us know who you think is going to win that bracket with that bracket maker on Google Slides. And see who you're rooting for. Maybe see who you think is actually going to win it. I would love to hear what you all have in store. Let me go through these last couple ones, make sure I'm not missing any. If you guys made a bracket in the chat, make sure you let me know. I might be missing it on Twitter. It seems like I'm seeing it all, but if I miss any, make sure you let me know. But just in general, in the chat, who do you all think is going to win it all based on the regular season? Now that we've had the regular season grow and develop over time, who do you think is going to go out there and win? We'll go back to the blank bracket here in just a moment. I just want to go here and let you know. At the scan to win it all. Thank you. Thank you. Make the smart decision. But this is our bracket. This is what it looks like. These are the seedings. Any of the people who get a loss in game 1, 2, 3, and 4 are eligible for the loser derby. And as you see, we progressively make our way right. But just in general as well, who do you think is going to win, but who do you think is going to get last? Forget who is going to win, because there's a lot of moving pieces. But make sure you let us know who you think is going to get last too, because that's actually a big part of it. Scan will get last. Ants will get, wow, that's disrespectful. Ants will get last. I mean, Ants last place for a reason, right? Who is the only player in the league to get no hit? Am I right? A lot of Ants for last. Termination over under for base running errors is 3. Oh, 100%. The over under is there and 100% over. I would be the only reason he wouldn't get the over is if he just loses game 1. That's the only reason he wouldn't get it. Also, speaking of which, the poll is progressing nicely here. We got a 3-headed race between Warren Spahn, Sixto Sanchez, and Michael Kopech. See, what happens if we have a tie? That's my question. What happens if we have a tie? This post years, I see you, Alamo. Let me find it. There is Mr. Logs's. Get all these pulled up. There's Alamo's. Love it. All of you making brackets, you are all legends. All of you who have been big fans of the DCCL, all of this, you've all made this happen, man. So claps to all of you for taking part, voting in these polls, and making the DCCL what it's become. We've got big stuff in store for these finals, and you guys should be stoked. I've seen some interesting polls here, by the way, or brackets. Speaking of the poll, though, we are tied 15-15 with Sixto and Kopech. It is Kopech with the last-second lead. Is he gonna win it? Does Michael Kopech clutch it? It was a two-way tie. Okay, looks like we need sudden death. It looks like we're gonna need sudden death. Kopech and Sixto tied. So we're gonna do a 1-minute poll. It had to go down to the wire, did it? One-minute showdown, sudden death. Apparently you guys are very passionate about your 5th starting pitchers. Noted. Michael Kopech. All right, you have 1 minute. Everyone get your votes in right now. 1 minute. Intense music time. We need some like intense music. Yeah. You have a minute. Who do you think? Or who do you want to see? Starting pitcher number 5 between Michael Kopech and Sixto Sanchez. Let's go. Wow, it ain't even close right now. Sixto's running away with it. He's up 6. Nope, that's, of course, a pun intended. Yeah, Sixto's running away with it. This poll might not be too climactic. Yeah, Sixto might... I think he's running away with it. And our winner is the Sixto Sanchez. The outlier sinker wins again. Can we get an F in the chat for Digital Champion and Ansel Armstrong? Because the outlier may be very difficult for those two. So, to wrap it all up, all of the pitchers you all voted for in the chat from this list. First, Shohei Ohtani is going to be the ace, and probably who you see the most. The second pitcher is going to be Greg Maddux. Third pitcher is going to be Fernando Valenzuela. The fourth is going to be the glitch himself, Edward Cabrera. And to wrap up the rotation, another outlier sinker, Sixto Sanchez. So, my initial reaction, some moderate violence is chosen. You know, we have some glitches like the Edward Cabreras and the Fernando Valenzuela, but nothing too toxic like the Jacob deGroms and Justin Verlanders. So I think we should have a good mix of offense and pitching in these playoffs, and I'm actually stoked to do it. So what we are going to do now, we're going to go through those brackets that we mentioned as we get our guys ready. Actually, let me ask right now. Of the Dugout guys who are going to hop into the Discord with me, who is ready right now? Because I would love to have someone in here as we go through these brackets and just get your thoughts on the pitchers we have. Is the Swab ready? Looks like the Swab is ready. We shall get the graceful Swab, the kind of Mickey Mouse first place, but not really, because he has a 1.5 multiplier. We'll get him in. So Swanee, hop on in. He's going to yell at me because I said that. There he is. Hello, Mr. Swan.
Hello.
So, how you feel about the pitcher picks that were chosen?
You're making me grind Showdown for however long it takes. So
it's not that long. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
There's a reason it's not done yet, Scan. I failed about double-digit times on this run it back Showdown.
That tough? Really that tough?
I don't know what it is, man. I just...
Well, I need you to lock it on in and get...
16
there it is. There it is. Sorry about that, chat. We're good now. We are good. So, I don't know if they heard what you said. So, how do you feel about the pictures that we just chose, Swanee, or chat shows?
You guys are making me play Showdown in February. I hate you. But thank you for picking Shohei.
I mean, I think it's going to be fun. We have a good mix of guys that could be effective if you pitch well with them, but aren't really the most easy to hit. Like, it's a good mix. I like the balance. It's not too hard one way or the other. Like, if DeGrom or Verlander were chosen, oh man, it would have been ugly.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's an
DC
all-star.
would have a tough time.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Poor DC would be in the blender. That is for sure.
God, if Ray uses Edward Cabrera versus him.
Bro. Honestly, I want to... That's going to be the first thing we ask. So, Ray, which starter are you going to use? Because it's going to be a viable thing to use Edward Cabrera against DC. Like, that's a very viable strategy. I can see him doing it. Definitely could go for it.
Or Sixto has outlier in a sinker too, right?
Yeah, Sixto has it too. Just doesn't have the hits per nine. But like, imagine he starts like Edward Cabrera and Sixto out of the pen. Like, jeez.
God.
And then Chapman. Oh, that would
DC
just be
would
some
quit.
shambles.
That would be the first actual rage quit.
It would be, no doubt. Like, he would just straight up walk away. Like, he would just walk out of the penthouse and just fly right back home. Like, that's how rough it's gonna be if that's the case for him.
No, I'd go straight to the casino.
Fair. Very fair.
Sit at a poker table and whatever happens.
Speaking of gambling, how do you feel about these brackets that have been made so far? I can hop over to something that were made. Yeah, DC's bracket is the most hot take one I've ever seen. So if you are looking in the Discord screen, Swanee, I have it pulled up.
Oh, cool.
And as you see, Chad, DC has made a pick. I don't know what the pick is. He even put himself against you. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I did.
So like there's DC versus Swan in game 5, and then just DC, 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 DC. You know what? The most informed bracket I've ever seen.
I want to see DC once during this trip try to pitch himself the ball and hit it with the other controller.
Yes.
Just because of this bracket.
I agree. That has to be at least something that happens for content. Agreed with that.
Ultimate TikTok right there is editing him pitching versus him hitting and like separate POVs, but putting them together and having him react to himself and talk shit to himself just because of this bracket.
Yeah, and also it would like in this sense, just not that it makes any sense that it happens, but I guess we would have 5 home run derby players because TJ and Ants just both lose. They don't even play into the bracket. So just like everyone loses. Nobody makes it past round 1.
Or DC's just straight up kicking both of them out.
Yeah. He's like, you know what? I'm not just going to beat Ray. I'm just going to beat Swati because you guys aren't. Like, that would be a crazy move, but we know, like, you guys know DC. His bracket, all he's probably thinking is he just loses a Ray Cheesy and then probably loses the home run derby and gets last. That's the realistic bracket.
Oh, damn.
That's the realistic bracket.
If I'm DC, I am practicing home run derby all week.
Yeah, just in general, if I'm DC, Ants, Day, and I would include Dooney too, because Dooney Mouse.
You gotta include the Mickey Mouse.
All of those dudes better be practicing their home run derby this week because they could be in a tough one here. Let's actually go through another bracket here. Here's Austin's, and it looks like he has you as the favorite in this one here.
Seeing me, first of all, Ants over TJ, I kind of like that. Low-key.
Yeah, TJ's been
the way
in the blender.
Ants has been talking lately, you know.
I could see Ants bouncing
pretty
back.
Confident.
I think
He's pretty confident.
I think his low is against me, and I think that kicked his butt to lock it in and recognize what he was doing wrong. And I could actually see him beating TJ. I could genuinely see it.
I'm scared. I don't know why so many people have me beating Chev in the finals, though.
Yeah, it's
like,
tough.
A lot of people are putting that, and I'm like,
People forget how your matchup went. And this is a different structure. We're playing multiple games, too. This is going to be a little bit of a battle of, like, who lasts the longest, too. I mean, you're going to be, like, you would be potentially...
it's multiple games?
Well, like, we're playing multiple games per day. So, like, you're playing game 5.
I'm not.
Like, if this were to happen, you'd be playing 5, 6, and in the championship. So you'd have a 3-game
I might
slate.
be screwed day 3 or day 2.
Yeah, like that might not be easy. It's going to be a little battle of who can last the longest throughout the entire tournament. They're not the longest games, but I know you say you lock it in for a 9-inning game, and you can do that. But 3 games, 3 6-inning games, it's not going to be the same thing. So,
well, I mean, it's not going to be the same thing in general because we're all going to be in front of each other. Like, it's real easy to yell obscenities at my monitor when I'm alone.
True. Very true. That's going to be electric content.
It's not like, you know, they hit a homer and I can say, shut the fuck up, and they can actually hear me now. So,
Ooh, Jeremy has a good question in the chat. Who do you think wins the home run derby between everyone? And when we do a blitzball home run derby in Vegas, who do you think would win a home run derby in blitzball with all of us? I think it's actually a very good question.
I'm gonna put a dark horse as TJ, but I think Chev has the best shot.
I could honestly see Ray getting into some.
Ray was a pitcher,
but he does play a good amount of slow pitch, right?
Yeah, but it's blitzball, not slow pitch.
But we're doing a home run derby. We're just soft tossing, you know?
Boss man's too old.
Yeah. I will say, when we were in Tampa, his swing was pretty smooth. I gotta give credit where credit was due.
Oh yeah. You know, he's flexed himself hitting a baseball in a men's league before to me. So I mean, I've seen the swing.
Wow, that's tough, Jeremy. That's tough. I'm sorry to inform you.
Yeah.
But,
what's up, Jerome?
But yeah, just like kind of we talked about there, this Vegas trip is more than just the DCCL playoffs for all of us. We're gonna be all recording a bunch of content, baseball content, blitzball, all of these things. So keep an eye out on the Dugout Creative YouTube. We're also allocating multiple channels for each thing now. So you'll see a DCCL channel, Blitzball versus channel, and all these different channels that we're working on right now. So make sure you keep up with the Dugout Creative socials, and we'll keep you all updated with the channels and all these the content we're going to be putting out. We're going to be putting out on those YouTube channels, along with all the socials on TikTok, because there's going to be a lot of electric content that we record in Vegas. You guys got to keep your eyes out on all the stuff we do.
I just want to address one comment. Chev was a Division I college baseball player, LOL, period. I was a Division III college baseball player, LOL, period. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would be disappointed if like Chev somehow won the DCCL and then just wins that too. Like someone has to lose. He has to lose something at some point, and hopefully it's at least a DCCL. Because I think I agree. He's probably the favorite to win like a home run derby. Also, who wins between JoJo and Dude's a Dude? I don't know, dude. I could picture Dude's a Dude just smacking the ball. I don't know why. I could just picture it.
I mean, he's a big travel ball guy. He's a coach, you know? I mean, the man probably swings a mean fungo. And let's be real, with the blitz ball, that type of movement, you want to get as much, I feel like, top spin as possible for against like some of those rise balls, right?
Yeah.
If you get the backspin on those, it's just going to go back foul.
And this is no offense to JoJo if he's out there, but we've talked a lot about how similar we are as people and such. And if he is any sort of similar to me, probably doesn't bode well to him in any physical setting. So he might be at a disadvantage if we're as similar as we think.
Dugout Creative Fungo Golf. That would be lit.
Oh, yes. Yes, now we're talking. That would be a vibe golf right there. Okay, you're saying I'm about 5'5", Jeremy. Okay, watch your mouth.
He's not 5'5", but he throws less than 55 miles an hour.
Okay, let's just talk about Twitter brackets. Can we? Let's talk about this. What is this monstrosity of a bracket by logs? What is this monstrosity of a bracket?
What logs? What do you expect? At least he has Thuney Mouse going down.
Yeah, at least Thuney doesn't make it far, but like, this is. I know Ants commented like, "Let's go." There's no shot you could take this seriously. What is this? He has you beat Ants beating you, first of all. That is absurd enough. And then beating Thuney Mouse and then Chev?
I mean, if Ants beats TJ game 1, it's definitely possible.
I know that.
I don't know about Chev, but me and Thuney / Day, yeah.
I know that Ants did beat Chev that one time. But a big factor of that was like when the game was played and Chev just like not being a late night person, he's gonna be played like right in the afternoon. And the only advantage he'd have over Chev is that it would be game 2 for Chev that day. That's the only benefit he'd get out of that.
I got one question here, and this could affect a lot of brackets. What are Plains policies in terms of checking bags with powders? Because if I can't bring my G Fuel, I'm fucked.
We just might have to find cans there, I guess. That's the only way around it, I guess.
Oh, they might have them there. Ooh.
Yeah, big brain.
The largest.
I don't know. Yeah, I agree.
Shout out the skin.
The skin. This is a hot take. I mean, chat, let me just ask you in the chat. Type in W or L what you think of this bracket. Is this a W bracket or an L bracket? I want to hear your thoughts on it. Because, I mean, it's definitely a hot take. That is for sure. What if Chev can't bring the boom boom? This is true. This is a viable point. A lot of L's in the chat. Okay, message sent.
L for logs.
Let's look at this bracket by Alamo. Another Swan favorite, but instead me and you in the finals. I like this one. And Day winning over Thuney Mouse, I enjoyed that one. I actually enjoyed that pick a lot.
If you can take down Chev, I like my chances, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
shout out Orange Jesus.
Orange Jesus. I will say, if I played you again, like I wasn't 100% there when we played the first time. I don't know, dude. I'm dialing it in if it's for the championship. That's all I
Man,
gotta
if
say.
you're in front of me, I could either yell at you and make you tremble, or I could make you laugh and you won't focus.
This is
or
fair.
my anger would make you laugh and you ain't focusing worth shit anyway.
I'm someone that operates a lot of my humor behind the computer screen. Like, not that I'm the Twitter fingers person, but that's my humor for all this. So being in person is probably going to be a disadvantage to me because I'm going to be face to face with everyone.
I'm very curious. I'm gonna have to go all in, and I'm afraid for some friendships if I do that.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm telling you all, it's gonna be electric. Like, how we're gonna have it set up. Everyone's gonna they're gonna be face to face, so their monitors gonna be facing each other. So literally, all they have to do is just like stand up or just look around and say something directly to the person. It's gonna be such good content. It's gonna be sick. So like,
God, if we're face to face on via LAN, or if we're like on the angle like they do in some LANs, like just imagine. I'm picturing the gif of Scump when he was playing for the Huntsman, just getting up and just screaming at the other team, man.
Yes, that would be dope. I would love that. That's the type of content we need. That is for sure. And make sure you guys are tuning in on the 22nd and 23rd at 4 p.m. Pacific. That is when these playoffs will be going down here.
But and you can see Fat Scump with no hairline yell at his opponent.
Fat Scump with no hairline. I mean, very fair. Very fair. I mean, oh, wait a minute. We have ourselves another hot take bracket. I thought we were done with the brackets, but I forgot. We have another hot take. So, my man Andrew Mustang. Not only has Swanee losing, Ray losing to DC, me losing to DC, he has DC winning the whole thing.
Mustang.
This is like if all the magic were to happen, like, I don't know what type of voodoo magic this would take. But first of all, TJ beating you, Swanee, I don't know if I think he could do that. He's been really not living up to the hype. He's the reason he's the 8th seed. Then Day beating Thune, I'm bored with that one. But DC beating Ray? And then DC beating me? I'm offended. I am offended at that one.
Hey, we saw the last seed take down Ochev. That's all I gotta say.
True. But at least Ants is someone that doesn't have a 3-time multiplier. At least you know Ants could play that well. Poor DC. He's gotten better.
DC lost 4-2 against Truman.
Yeah, that's part of why I'm emphasizing how TJ disappointed.
3-time a month top 50 player. Like,
yeah, I guess anything can happen. Anything can happen. That's the beauty of it. But this is like if you were just putting in like a money line or whatever to make the most profit, this would be the bracket. Like, this is like the least probable brackets you could get out of this structure, just because of all the levels of players we have. I like it for the sake of the magic. I don't like it at my expense of me losing to DC. Just saying. That's what I don't like. We're going to
the gambling capital of the USA. I'm dropping $100 on DC's bracket.
Yeah, that would, like, you drop a little bit in there, and like if it happens, you're winning like $500,000. Nuts. So yeah, so make sure you guys tweet those brackets at us. Right now, I think we've covered all of them. We'll tweet these. We'll go through those brackets. We'll make sure to tweet it out as well at a separate point. So we'll go through this again on Thursday. Go through some extra brackets we do for then at the back end of it. It's a fun activity to get you all involved in guessing who wins this whole thing. So make sure you type in ! bracket. And we'll end. We're gonna go through one last time here the entire structure of the playoffs in just a moment. And I just want to say, Swanee, I appreciate you hopping in and chatting with me for a bit here, brother.
Yeah, of course, man. It was fun. # Digital Cinderella. Start it and get it trending on Twitter. That's all I got.
Digital Cinderella. Goodbye. Let's get it going. Appreciate you, bro.
Yep,
and we're going to wrap this on up, chat. Let's go through one last time. Let's get the lo-fi going. In case you guys are just joining us, wondering what is going on here for the DCCL. Today, the goal was to hop on in and get the entire postseason structure set up, explained so you guys know how the playoffs are structured. I'm going to go through it one last time with you all here. Okay, we're good to go. So let's go through the entire structure just to get it set clear in stone. In case you missed out on an earlier part of the stream, go through the team build, the bracket, and all of it that'll be in store for the postseason or the playoffs, because they're playoffs. So let's hop on in. Here is the bracket. Once again, the seedings of the regular season all determine this bracket. It's a 9-person single elimination bracket. You lose, you're done. Swanee being the first seed gives him a bye. So he plays game 5, doesn't play day 1 at all. And he's going to be safe from the loser derby, which we're going to talk about in just a moment again. That's the wrong scene. There we go. This is the schedule for day 1. Again, day 1 of the playoffs is going to be on February 22nd at 4 p.m. Pacific. And what's going to happen then, these 4 games will go through, and then these will set up the brackets for day number 2. So the winners will all line up, play Swanee for game number 5, and then 6, 7, 8 for the semis and the finals. Anyone who loses round 1 gets eliminated, but also gets into the loser derby. So the bottom 4 players will play in a home run derby each to determine who gets last. Whoever gets last in the derby, the lowest home run count, has to do a punishment, which you guys will find out here when it's done. It's a punishment that is going to be fun for everyone to watch at the expense of the last placer. So it's going to be fun, not for the person in last. And this loser derby is going to be what we end with, because last place is something that we've said off the rip, don't get last. And in terms of the team build, the hitters are chosen from these specific series of cards. So they're going to draft at the same time. So the opponents will draft from the pool of players in each series. First signature series, then milestone, then finest. And they're just going to pick from the entire pool of players and face off with the draft. So if you pick a player, they're only on your team. For the bullpen, we chose the relievers with a good range of relievers, because you can't fit into those team builds, those relievers. So we thought it was smart to choose them by hand, get a mix of really good ones like Chapman and Mo, and maybe some lower tier ones like Joe Nathan and John Franco to make people think about their bullpen decisions a bit. We also voted today on the starters we're using. You guys voted for Ohtani, Greg Maddux, Fernando Valenzuela, Edward Cabrera, and Sixto Sanchez as the 5 starters, and those will be the pitchers. You all chose them, and those will really be a big determinant in how the games play and how it all goes, because it's going to be, for some people, tough to hit certain pitchers over others. And in terms of the last part, which we haven't talked about, the points, anything like that, exact same point system as the regular season as shown in the chat. The only thing that changes is the points for a win. So right now there is only a 50-point bonus for a win. That's going to be a jump up from 50 all the way up to like easily multiple hundred. I think we're doing the calculation still on what will probably work the best. But picture 250 points for a win as an example, and whoever wins is going to get that bonus, that larger bonus in comparison to the 50. So when we had those scenarios where someone just squeaked out in points based on the multipliers, not going to be the case as often for the playoffs here. You may see it though. If DC scores a lot, he might still win a game if he scores a lot and it's close still. But in a large majority of cases where Thune Mouse got a point win, probably not the case here with that point multiplier. And yeah, like I said, February 22nd at 4 p.m. Pacific until 8 p.m. Pacific. Same with the 23rd, those same times. That is when these playoffs are going to go down. all of the info we're going to be putting out and keeping you all updated on how it'll go. We're going to be streaming live from Las Vegas in the 59th floor of the Palms Place in a very nice penthouse. The content is going to be elite. We're going to be face to face, and the broadcast for the DCCL playoffs is going to be one. I'm telling you, mark it down in your calendars. You have to be there. It's going to be electric, not just for the league and anyone who's kept up, but just for people who enjoy MLB The Show and have enjoyed stuff like this throughout the year. Big stuff is inbound. But yeah, we're going to go through the bracket again on Thursday, all that, but we're also going to do a roundtable with all the members who are a part of the league, get their thoughts on everything that's gone on so far, ask their thoughts before Vegas, and we're going to do a full regular season recap, go through all of the clips and big moments of the season, and break all of that down together with me and Mangoes. So Mangoes will be back hopefully on Thursday, and it's going to be a star-studded cast then. Make sure you tune in, turn on notifications here in the Twitch channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, keep up with all of the info. But we all appreciate you guys watching, voting for the pitchers. All of you, you're in your constant support with the DCCL. You've all made this into something massive that outset any of our expectations. So we want to quickly thank you all again for keeping up and enjoying this. We're going to go out there and put on a show for you the rest of this week, but next week as well. Mark the times and dates in your calendars. We're actually going to go raid. We're going to go raid Mills. I'm going to go raid him since we're going to end here. He's someone that has been a big supporter of what we've done. So we'll go show some love to him. Again, appreciate you all watching. Stick by the raid. You all have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you here again at the same time Thursday at times 6 p.m. Pacific. We'll be here tomorrow on Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, going over everything one last time. Appreciate you all watching. You all have a great rest of your day. Mark down Vegas on your calendars, and I'll see you all again. We'll all see you all again on the next stream Thursday and Vegas next week.